mental health in males. I know you've talked about it quite a bit. I know you lost a brother to it. I don't know if this was around the same time, but what are your thoughts on that? And have things changed in the last 6 or 7 years as a society, or your views on it?
Well, I think if you look at my demographic within this society, the biggest killer of us is ourselves. I think we have to look at the ways in which we psychologically mutilate ourselves in the name of manhood, which essentially is about humanhood to us. And so we see that by disfiguring the extent of our emotional communication, of our emotional expression, can lead to these kind of underlying buried issues which can manifest in all types of harmful ways. I think the linking of our humanhood to our ability to project violence onto other people is dangerous and damaging, not just for us, but for other people as well. I think the worship of violence is also linked in an intrinsic way to the modern idea of the state, in which the state is the force which has the monopoly on the use of violence. And so I think that it's all part of that. Being called upon to exact violence on other people meant that there had to be fostered and cultivated within us this sense that we were less human if we weren't able to project this kind of vulgar violence. And yeah, I see it, and I see people suffering from it as well. And I think the music plays a role in it. One of the things that's interesting to me is how little introspection there is about the cultural ambience that creates human beings. That, like that ex-president who, for the record, is an accused rapist, can speak about, grabbing other people's genitalia, where you have, seemingly an epidemic of you've got 3 women every day.
Who's this? Clinton? No. Who's the ex-president?
This is Trump.
Oh, Trump. Oh, yeah. Ex-president. Okay.
The president, Trump.
Yeah.
You have 3 women every single day in the United States being murdered by their partners. What is the cultural ambience which brings that into effect? Where is the interrogation of the things that contribute to human beings communicating in this way? Because as tortured as it is, violence is a form of communication. But why is it that we're feeling we have to communicate with each other in these ways?
Can you tell me what happened to your brother?
I mean, it's something I'd really not prefer to get into too much in the interview. But, he was someone that in many ways was a genius. He was someone who, by the age of 13 was capable of building a computer with his hands. And in many ways it's quite difficult to understand, because you can't really... The problem with the way that he died and that way of dying for people is that it leaves so much unsaid and undone and unfinished. And so I think really to find any type of closure with it is kind of an impossibility. Any attempt at understanding it is at best conjecture. So, I'm obviously in the past, I made music about it, but I think it's something that I'm not sure that even making music about it can really do it justice, but it's something that, is hard. It's hard. People go through, these things every day, actually.
But as young males, we're probably so hard on ourselves to a point where it can make us just become depressed and doubt ourselves.
Well, I think also Wordsworth called it the blunting of discriminatory powers. So I think there's an extent to which our critical thinking is commandeered. It's a contested space. So we are bombarded with so much advertising in so many different ways that telling us what we should be and what to be, that sometimes we lose our faculties of critical thinking. We never really engage with them. And so we're kind of left hostage to all types of power operating through us and above and around us.
which is why you're very careful for what you let inside your brain.
I think we should try to be, yeah.